Welcome everybody to the Super Joe Pardo Show. I feel like I'm sitting really low. I think my chair is. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. All right. Welcome everybody to the Super Joe Pardo Show. I'm Super Joe Pardo, and it's been a little while since we've had a guest on the show. It's probably been about 2 months or so. And this episode is all about social media. Upping your game for your business. And I have a guest here who started a business just a few months ago, and it's all about masks. And she is looking for a way to move the needle on her social media presence, get the word out, which is something a lot of us are constantly trying to do, figure out, and all of that. If you're watching this video, if you're watching the video of this versus, listening to it on the podcast, thanks for watching the video. You'll notice the set has changed a little bit. If you've been watching on YouTube, I've been doing Biz Coach Reacts videos, which has been a lot of fun. If you haven't seen them, go check them out, youtube.com/Super Joe Pardo, of course, because everything is at Super Joe Pardo. And those have been so much fun to produce and like learn the process of getting all that together. So I've been doing Shark Tank and The Profit. I'm going to do Bar Rescue soon, and some of them are like multi-part episodes, and I try to cram as much information into the reaction and into the analysis as I possibly can to give you the best opportunity to learn from not only me, but from the show and as the synergy and back and forth. So it's a lot of fun. If you haven't watched them, please go and watch them. Anyway, if you're watching this live on Facebook or on YouTube, please do not hesitate to jump in the comments and say what's up, ask your questions, and I'm happy to try to get to them and work on them with you. Anyway, this episode is brought to you by the IndiePod University. If you want to learn to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, go to indiepodu.com. Anyway, without further ado, let me bring in our guest here from Masks for Love. It's Ritu. Woo! What is going on, Ritu? How are you?
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I'm feeling great. My chair situation is like I was literally here's the hammer. I was beating the gas lift, the piston thing underneath, like right before I jumped on the call with you, and
Okay.
it didn't work out. So I'm in a different chair that's not quite as comfortable, and it's and
Yeah.
apparently this
So,
one goes down
I'm
too.
sitting at my 8-year-old daughter's desk with her chair. Apparently, what happens when you start to go into quarantine is you realize the mom doesn't have a room of her own. The kids have it, and so that's where I'm at. Little kid.
Yeah, that you know what, when it was when COVID hit, I had a room up in the upstairs office, and it's very small. The background wasn't great, the lighting wasn't great. And once COVID hit and I was home, I was like, oh well, I should like move more of my stuff out into the garage. So this is my one of my 2 garages. And then eventually I had to drywall the thing and it's still got to get painted. Like it's still a work in progress, but it feels good to have a space at least to be at. Though the kids are like, I want to come out and play games. They're 4 and 2, so like I want to, it's a little it can get a little distracting there. Tim, what's up, Tim? Good to see you. I would just so everyone knows, I would be giving the bell. I would have had my theme music playing, but my software apparently can't connect to the server for itself, so I cannot do that. So I can't. Ding ding is the best I can give right now, instead of the normal bell. But good to see you, Tim, in the chat. So Ritu, talk about when did you start your business, and how did it come about?
Yeah, as most people feel, the year started in March as opposed to January this year, and everybody's life's changed. Everything just went from 100 to 0. And my community here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, actually started this huge grassroots project. 3 ladies actually started to make masks for our healthcare workers. And this was something we saw nationwide that people were doing. And we actually have 2 very large hospitals and healthcare networks in the area. So what started off as trying to fill in a 150 mask request from one small private healthcare worker community, or it ended up being over 120,000 masks by June that were made all through
Wow.
volunteer work and donations
Wow.
from our community, which is just absolutely fantastic to see what came through from something that was a very dire need back in March. I joined the group as a volunteer, just like everybody else. I started to sew masks. I was like, I have a sewing machine. I can dust it off. This is cool. Something I can do. And I think a lot of people were just looking for something to do, something to help. And it just, my volunteer and my involvement just grew from there, from being part of just sewing masks, to, because this basically went from, oh, we're doing 100 masks a week to, oh my goodness, we now have 40,000 mask requests. I mean, we basically became a company that needed to have operations. We were churning out 5,000 masks by the end of this a week.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So I became involved in the operations. So it was getting our raw materials, which happens to be fabric, from the fabric store. Well, guess what? It needs to be washed and ironed and processed and cut. We had a website where people could go, volunteers could go and order what's called a kit that had everything you needed to make a mask with instructions. And that's just how we churned it out. And then we had a whole back-end distribution system that got the masks to the people that were requesting them. And as all of this sort of came and wound down back in June, there was another need that was prevalent, which was, there were these group of people that had the skill set of being able to sew, but they also were financially impacted by COVID. And so I kind of put those two things together and said, well, why don't I see what I can do with this, right? People still want masks. They still need masks. It's not going away. And so while our organization, from a volunteer standpoint, started to go wind down, I just started to ask and talk to people who were sewing and saying, hey, would you consider doing this if I were to sell the masks? And before I knew it, we were getting started, and we're a team of 9 people and we have the same sort of situation where, I'm sort of purchasing fabric and giving it to them all ready to go with my own designs that I've come up with. And that's where we are right now. We're like 3 months in. Well, no, sorry. I'm sorry. 5 months in since June, 5 to 6 months in now. So that's how it all kind of got started. I never would have thought, gosh, anyone would have told me I would have started my first business, and that would be sewing and selling masks. 2020.
Well, first of all, ding ding, congratulations
Thank you.
on starting your own business out of something that was we need something to do, right? And we want to be helpful, and that's awesome. I absolutely love that, and I love the fact that you're able to you're taking the bull by the horns, right? You're making it happen, even though you didn't have the experience of doing this before. I do gotta ask, because it is something on my mind. Where do you go from here once masks aren't a thing that is in demand? Have you given that a little
I
the shower thoughts, the running thoughts, the driving in the car thoughts?
I have, and there's 2 possibilities. There's the possibility that says, "Hey, I was here for a very specific reason, or I started this for a very specific reason. It was to meet 2 needs. It was to provide masks for safety for the general public, and it was to fill a need for providing income to those that need it when their other means of income have been either completely removed or reduced in terms of hours." And as long as I'm meeting those 2 requirements, I am happy. I'm in a happy space. Honestly, I kind of wish I go out of business, because who wants to have a global pandemic, right?
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
but you know, to start up something that uses the same skill set, right? Some kind of
yes, no,
garments or
I
some
agree.
kind of.
The what I
I didn't
would
know if you
love
had something in
to
mind for that part of it.
I would love to see it grow into helping not just people that sew, but local artists,
Mm,
and be a platform for them. Having gone to the trouble of having social media, a website, all of which has costs associated with them, and be a platform for them because they may not have those startup um, funds to be able to launch something. So to be able to be a platform for them would be fantastic. Um,
yeah.
and to be able to have that marketing build up, because that's the other thing I've learned is, you don't establish a website and then the next day just hit the ground running and go, oh, everybody's buying my stuff.
Not usually, unless it's something very new and like you know catches the attention of a large scale audience of like I always had this problem and there was never a solution, you know. But
Right.
not
So,
everybody's fortunate enough to create those things.
yeah, as long as I can find a way to use those resources to still help people with a skill set, whether it is and specifically handmade items,
Hmm.
whether it be pottery or clothes or whatever it is. If I can be a platform for them, that would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree. And you got to look at what you know what customer base you're building, right?
Yeah.
And who those people are, and what they're going to potentially want for in the future.
Hmm.
Um, so no, that is awesome. So here is your website. I brought it up here, which looks great. It's nice and simple, nice and clean. Are people able to order online right there?
Yep, you can go right there on Shop for Masks, and that should take you to basically everything right there, unless you categorize them up top. But yeah, we have our holiday masks up
Wow.
front, and also the sales that we're running. And then as you scroll down, those are ones that have kind of been there since the beginning. And then as the seasons roll around, we had our fall stuff out, Halloween stuff out in the beginning. And then kind of varied in there some custom masks, what we call like community masks. So local businesses that or charities that we've done masks for, we kind of put them up there so that if they want to reorder things, they can directly from the website.
That is awesome. So, was it hard to source some of these patterns, like
Well,
especially as like COVID was like really taking a toll on shipping and everything?
no, again, our mission is to support our local economy. So I have a deal with our local fabric store, and so every dollar coming into our business is just going directly back into our economy, our local economy here. They provide all of the materials you see here. I have one of my contractors is a graphic designer, so a lot of the like the Grinch mask that you see there, and then the Christmas naughty nice. I tried; those are vinyl heat transfer on there.
Okay. So
So
okay,
that's how
that's
that's
good.
done there. With, oh, by the way, the eyes glow in the dark. Just saying,
The
uh,
eyes going. Oh yeah, his eyes going. That's
is
awesome.
pretty cool. Um, so yeah, so I come up with ideas and I give them to her and say, okay, Christmas is coming. What you got? And then we go back and forth and come up with our final designs of what we think will be good. And some are, um, most of which work. I mean, the Grinch one, man, I can't keep anything in stock there. They're just,
It says
they're,
there's only 5 left in stock. That's awesome.
yeah. I mean,
That
I
is
also
awesome.
have a couple of bakeries and things like that are carrying them. So just from an inventory standpoint, I got to have some for my online customers, my retail customers, um, and then keep in mind what the fabric store has in stock. So it's fun.
Yeah, no, I love it. This is great. So you're when you wrote in, your goal was to try to figure out what you could do to reach more people on
Hmm.
the social marketing piece. So I opened up your Instagram and your
Hmm.
Facebook.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. So let's see what kind of traction. 6 likes, 8 likes, 6 likes, 4 likes, 8 likes, 10 likes, 7, 9, 12. So what I see here is actually kind a little bit of the opposite of what I would expect,
Okay.
which is I would expect to see more likes on the ones with faces, right?
Um,
That's what I would expect to see. And it seems like there may be a little bit more than others, but not it's not like out of the ordinary. So like but I look here at like the Grinch,
hmm.
right? And I think to myself, if you would put a picture with somebody wearing that,
Wearing the Grinch mask. Yeah.
yeah, gonna go a lot further than that. Now, with
Yeah.
that said, this one did get 15 likes. I mean, you did all the right hashtags. Looks
Hmm.
like to me, as far as like the Grinch and Elf yourself, Master Love. There's probably some other hashtags you could have thrown in there,
Okay.
um, that were maybe more further reaching for Christmas.
Hmm.
Like you got Christmas and holidays, Christmas mask. Let's see, what's Christmas mask bring up? So well, there's a picture, face 138, 138. I mean, oh wow. So there's not much in the hashtag Christmas mask, which is weird because you know what, yours recent post was temporarily hidden to prevent the spread of possible fake information. Okay.
Yes, so that has been a huge challenge in social media trying to sell masks. They,
Hmm.
in Google's words, we were trying to take advantage of a global situation. Um,
Okay. Like,
yeah, which I'm like, I get it, but at least, can you weed out the bad guys a better way than just blanketing it
yeah.
out to the people that are actually trying to do, this
Huh.
um, make handmade masks.
So I wonder if let's see. I mean, it's when you go to hashtag holidays, recent posts of all hashtags are temporarily hidden. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
not even okay. Wow. So like maybe there's and I didn't realize this prior, but maybe
Mhm.
there's like a thing going on where people are just bombing hashtags
Oh, okay.
like all together. I mean, I'm logged in. Yeah, I'm logged in. So it's not like
Mhm.
it's a oh you're not logged in and we can't verify kind of thing. That's wow. That's really terrible to see. I mean, I'm sure Handmade Mass probably yeah. Wow. So that actually kind of possibly explains some things about let's see, like because I one I use is hashtag podcast for the IndiePod University, which by the way, this
Mhm.
episode is brought to you by the IndiePod University. Go to indiepodu.com. But if I type in hashtag podcast, yeah, even there. So there must be something going on here. Like
Hmm.
I mean, it says learn more, but I don't expect to actually see anything useful
Yeah.
there. Yeah, of course not. The help is very rarely ever helpful. So you might have to do some googling to figure out what actually is going on here. So
Okay.
um I that makes that really difficult for that
Mhm.
to probably make a big difference. Wow. Okay. So let's move to Facebook then. But in general, I would
Yeah.
say more pictures of people wearing the
People wearing
masks.
them.
Would probably be more effective. And like oh, this one is comments. I mean, I'm just looking through to see. Yeah. So I'm gonna say yeah, face 7, right, versus that 3, 2. Definitely use more facial stuff, and even that one picture, or when I went to here and I went
Hmm.
to the was it Christmas mask,
Hmm.
um,
You can see
yeah, you
people.
can see
Yeah.
like their faces, but like they're stylized pictures. You know, Instagram is a competition as far as
Yeah.
like creating something that's stands out and looks cool. I mean, even here, like, oh, cool, it's a Christmas tree, 119 likes, 188 likes. It's on a person, and I don't know what that really has to do with Christmas. Maybe like the red and somewhat green hair. I don't. I'm not really sure. But you know, there's just a standard head mugshot with the mask, and it's got 423. So
Hmm.
you know, so just here's one that has no mask. like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know. I mean, maybe a story. Maybe she wrote a story about masks,
Okay.
but then didn't actually have the mask on in the picture. But I mean, but then here you go. Like, here's a picture with just somebody holding
Mhm.
holiday masks, teaching joys. I mean, they have 39,000 followers, so they're doing something right, and it looks like they do a lot of these
Mhm.
holding things. Like that's they found their niche of
Yeah.
people that
Thing.
want
Yeah.
to see that, right? Um, so let's move to Facebook, because maybe, I mean, it's the same company obviously, but
Mhm.
maybe we could get some more penetration out of that. You know, as far as not stuff not being there. So let's see if you go. Did you post the Grinch picture
Yeah.
here? Okay, here we go. So let's see, let's do holiday hashtag holiday masks, because Facebook has been making strides into making the hashtag matter more.
Mhm.
You know, in showing people random posts. Bless you. There. So. So okay. So it looks like it's not being suppressed here. I guess there's
Mhm.
something just going on specifically on Instagram,
Mhm.
but again, like, you know, using pictures of people's faces. I think also the one thing that I wanted to look at your blog and see what do you have going on the blog.
The blog is fairly recent. We just started that back in October. But yeah, we had, we did like a 3-part series where we talked about the kids here were going back to school in October. So we kind of started off there. And then we had local healthcare people do studies on the fabric that we use. So we put that in there. Um, and then interviewed local pediatricians or had quotes from them for part of our blogs as well.
Oh, okay. So and then you're sharing these out onto Facebook. It looks like maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, no, I think that's great. I think one thing that would be really powerful there, let's see, is do you lean into your story and how you got into this?
Yeah, it should be there under well, I'm trying to think now. It's been a while
I
since
see
it
the
looked
about here.
right. Yeah, that would be the only place we have our like my story or our story there.
Hmm.
And then I do talk about, the people in our team, which kind of like showing them who the people are behind the scenes.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I think, you know, getting more faces here
Hmm.
would be helpful. Um, are you not doing anything on Twitter?
No, nothing on Twitter. I am on Pinterest, although that's not as organized as I would say Instagram and Facebook is. Mostly images that I've advertised, but nothing. There's no campaigns or anything that I have going on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm really interested in the whole like why this why what's going on with Instagram right
Hmm.
now where it's not getting it's only showing you 9 top posts. But
Hmm.
but with that aside, I think what you I mean, I think you're in the right place. I think Instagram definitely is the place for those kinds of pictures. If you
Hmm.
can tweak how you're making these pictures, make them fun, make them stylized,
Hmm.
incorporating the masks that you're making. I think you'll do a lot better because like if you just I mean just look at it from this perspective, right? So if you looked at your feed, I mean it's very like promo pay it's like like
Hmm.
promo flyer in the mail kind of thing, right? And that's fine for every other every third, fourth, fifth, sixth post or eighth post or something to that effect.
Hmm.
But for the most part, you want things like this picture, more like this picture, more
Hmm.
like this picture, more like that picture. So it's things like that that are going to make that much more of a difference here on Instagram than anywhere else. And on when it comes to Facebook, I mean you can do more things like that, but again, faces is what's selling. In
Hmm.
fact, we were doing. I had the Sis and Tell ladies, Amanda and Allison, on the Indie Pod Daily Show, which, or I should say, not so daily show because it has not been very daily in recent couple months. But on the Indie Pod Show, and we went through their social media, and it was like, it's you put faces, right? They a lot of their stuff did not communicate their faces, which a lot of times that's what people want to see. Like you go to almost any website,
Yep.
you're going to see a face within a within scroll. Which in your case you don't. I would get a face
Okay.
on there, right? Um, and they just wrote to me the other week and said like they've updated their like how they're going about creating their thumbnails, creating their Instagram posts or Facebook posts with their faces as part
Hmm.
of the branding, and their everything, the engagement and everything has gone up.
Oh,
Right.
cool.
So
Okay.
yeah, so they've been doing much better, feeling much better about what they're putting together for the last 4 years. Now
Awesome.
all of a sudden, like it's starting to swell up, and it's just making a couple of little tweaks, like putting
Hmm.
faces in everything, in everything that they're doing, putting their faces to it. So, because people identify with faces, people,
Yes.
right? There's
Yes.
that
Yes.
connection.
For
So
sure.
I would definitely look at some ways of doing that. I don't know if you have any maybe local like Instagram influencers in your area that you could maybe connect with and try to like leverage that.
Hmm.
They might have a fee, but it might be worth it. Depends on what they're at, where they're at, what they're looking for.
Hmm.
So maybe try to find reach out to your network and see like if there's anybody that knows anybody that's like, and they might not even have to be local. Like you could mail the mask to somebody. It's not
Sure.
the huge deal there, but just an opportunity to maybe reach another audience there,
Yeah.
and give yourself some more hopefully some more Instagram followers out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be. I
Good
mean,
point.
one post shouldn't be too expensive. It might be $15 or twenty
Oh,
bucks or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it depends. I mean, everybody's got their own price and their own set of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
rules that they play by. But yeah, I think that doing some like cross promotion,
Hmm.
with some Instagram influencers, I think could really help there and upgrading the imagery. I think the images look good,
Yeah.
for the most part. I think are you the one creating them?
I some of them, but I do have somebody specifically that does my posting and stuff there.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. I
so
mean, they
I,
look
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I think they look good. I mean, this is a little hard to read. The handmade masks in Winston Salem, being white on multicolored is a little hard to
Hmm.
read. But for the most part, I think whoever you got doing it is doing a good job.
Cool.
Uh, aside from this one image, oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Aside from this one
Yeah. No,
image,
that, yeah, I kind of
being a
got
little
it
hard to
when you
read.
said that. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and it would if you just made the font thicker and like
Yeah.
bigger, then it would probably be fine. It just gets a
I
little
think that was
lost
probably
there.
me, so I shouldn't blame my social media person on that one.
Well, whoever it is, it's just a little hard to read, but it's not the end of the. I mean, it's easy. It's an easy
That's
fix.
an
You
easy
throw like
fix.
a
I
white
can do
bar
that.
or a bar under it
I
and
can
like
handle
tint it.
that.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy fix. But let's see. I think that you're definitely on the right path there, and been
Mhm.
been doing great. So you've been have you been like have you been positive in the profit side at all, or how's
We're
that going?
essentially a non-for-profit, so
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we're just like everything just goes back into the
You're not
company.
losing any money.
We're
That's
not losing any
okay.
money.
Good,
We're
good,
we're
good, good,
good.
good. Ding, ding.
Yeah, no, we're good. We had to shuffle a few things around to. I did not anticipate the marketing and advertising costs early
Mm.
on when I was sort of budgeting those, things in. So I had to make some changes last month, but I think we're good, especially going into the holiday season. And then it'll probably be a little hard right after. So January and February are probably going to be a little lean. Yeah.
Well, the mass need definitely is not going away, and there's
Right.
people there's definitely a market for people who want something that isn't just a blue and white medical mask
Right.
out there, and especially if you're having to wear it all day every day, having comfort and style is important.
Yeah.
If you're out there, so I I was I was thinking that the what was it? The other thing I was thinking was, what are you doing to collect emails? Are you sending out any emails, email marketing?
We have just since we started doing the blog, so it's more recent. As of last month, we've been doing a few more emails. So right now, we're just doing the free platform on Mailchimp. But
That's fine.
yeah, I don't know though. I don't know if it's reaching enough people or just going into spam. So
Hmm.
that's the I'm considering.
Did you verify the email address with Mailchimp? Because that helps get past out of the spam filter as well.
I think so. And I don't have anything specific telling me that it's going to spam. I just was talking to another marketing person who was saying, oh, you should try a different platform. It helps, get through to more customers. So we're still going to continue with that through the end. But if you have any suggestions there, the end of the year, but if you have any suggestions on different platforms.
I mean, I use currently I'm using Aweber for my email. They have pretty strict policies as far as like who adding too many people, all at once, and if you're importing a list, it highly recommends that you send out an email to make sure that people still want to be on that said
Sure.
list. So they have a lot of controls in place like that. But I mean, it's not. I think they offer some kind of free thing now, but for the longest time they didn't, which is
Okay.
why I always use Mailchimp. But what do you know what percentage rating, like opening rate, you're getting off the top of your head?
No, that's funny, but I was logged in just today. And so now I'm like, oh, what was it? I think I got distracted by. Um,
I mean, if
we,
it's in like the 20%, 20 to 30%, that's pretty good. Um,
I want to say it's more on the, well, 10%. We did a few for, the Black Friday. Okay. Yeah. We do actually, we are in the 20% opening. I'm looking at it right now. And then our Thanksgiving email actually had almost 50%. So that was kind of nice.
hmm.
Um,
So when you're sending out these emails, what are you emailing out? Are you emailing out the blog posts like that you have the new blog post, or what are you sending out?
so initially, yes, that was some of the first ones. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find how to. Okay, I had the window down and I couldn't see you anymore. Um, yes, so initially there was the blog posts that we sent out. Then the Thanksgiving ones were definitely more promotional because we were trying to tell people about our Black Friday deals in as many channels as we could. So we had just our Thanksgiving, and then we had Small Business Saturday. So we had like 3 emails that kind of went out just promoting that. Um, we have another one that actually just went out today. And again, that was, yes, it actually was based on talking about our latest blog post, which was talking about how we've given back to the community and where we've donated masks, etc. So,
Hmm.
um, and also letting people know to get their orders in because shipping deadlines are coming.
Yeah. So look at those, evaluate where, which ones got the most open rate, what like subject headers got the most open rate, and
Mm-hmm.
just look at that and kind of figure out like what's, the balance of what gets the open, and then which ones are getting the clicks, right? Like which links are getting clicked on, which emails have the highest click percentage, because you want to get people to your website. It's great that they're opening the email.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
step one. Step two is like, okay, what do I have to tweak inside the email to get them to make the click, and which ones get that,
yeah,
so then use
yeah.
that as a guide to get you to where you want to be, as far as that goes. So, if you're getting on like, excuse me, if your lower emails are like in the 20% range, that's generally fine.
Okay.
I mean, how do you know how many emails are on your list?
A little over 100, maybe 115
Okay.
and 20.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
mean that's, yeah, I could see where, like, okay, do you only have 20%? That's a little disheartening. It's like 20 people opened it or 25 people opened it. But
Yeah.
don't look at it like that.
Right.
Look at it as those are the people that are probably most willing to buy from you again,
Mm-hmm.
right? And try to cultivate that. So look at the emails, dissect
Mm-hmm.
what worked, what didn't work, and
Mm-hmm.
then try to craft emails that are more in that vein to get people to open them and then get people to click on them, to click in those links. So
Got it.
usually simple emails. That's how I always send my emails. Is like, the most eye-catching subject I possibly can. Sometimes I'll put words upside down because it catches your, because and not everybody's inbox is like mine. Like right now I have 18 emails in my inbox, and it's just driving me crazy because I need to get it down to, like, usually it's 0, but it's not always 0. Sometimes it's 10, but 18 is a lot for me. So, but not I most people are not like that. Most people don't treat their inbox as a to-do list. So, you have to think of it as like, okay, what's going to get people's attention? Sometimes it's like taking the word Christmas and like have the word Christmas upside down or something, where
Okay.
it just gets your attention that, like, hey, it's, there's something different about that email, and then they see who it's from and go from there. So, little things like that can get your open rate up a little bit, and then hopefully, tweaking to get people to click in, and buy again. The other thing you could do, um, is you could use the tags in Mailchimp, so that you could tag who is a previous customer versus somebody who signed up for, something. You set up yourself with a, like a free, lead magnet to get people to, like, buy into being on the email list and growing that. So at
Okay.
least when you have 20% and it's like, oh, we have 500 people, it's
Mm-hmm.
a much higher amount of people opening the email
Mm-hmm.
versus, if you only have 100. But with that said, if you have 100 people that are buying, repeat customers, then that's
Right.
better
I
than
was just
having
going to say we have
5,000.
a lot. Yeah, we have a lot of repeat customers, so it doesn't indicate sales per se. But yeah, there are
Right.
a lot of people that come back once they have purchased, and so that's still one email.
Yeah. So what I would look at doing is getting yourself some kind of lead magnet to,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the lead magnet could be how to make your own mask. Like, go find the fabric and then make it, because that, uh because I mean, if you have the fabric and you have the instructions, like, you could do that as a lead magnet to get people to get, to opt into the list and go from there. So, that's an opportunity to grow the list, but also
Mm-hmm.
to get people who might be interested in just sourcing the stuff from you and sewing their own mask, right? So like that's right there is like a lead magnet for that. So once you have them in your email list, then you can, start sending them more emails. I would send your second email to them. So I would set up like I don't know if they let you do MailChimp sequences anymore, like automated sequence. I know it's there, but I don't know if it's in the free one anymore.
Okay.
But if it is, the first email would be welcome. I'm gonna send you the instructions. Maybe it's a video of I'm the founder and I'm this is
Yeah.
how we sew it. Put a video together. Then you could just upload that to like YouTube unlisted and like put it put that link in there. And then the follow up email would be like, hey, this is my story, my background. People will help self identify with that, right? Like I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about doing this kind of stuff. And I knew how to sew, and that was the foundation. So put that in like a second email. And then in a third email, do like, do the sales, the sale for like, here's, to buy the just buy the package. You don't have to buy the mask. You just buy the package. So, because I'm looking on your site, so all these masks are done for you. They're all like, if I ordered the Grinch one, it comes together, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because that's hard to tell from the picture.
Yeah. It looks a lot like this guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all completed masks. Yep.
Right, but the thing is like I don't know if that's that's a bundle to make masks versus like a bundle. So this is a bundle of made masks, not for you to make, right? But you sell the kits too, right?
I do not. No.
Oh, you don't. Oh, I thought you. Oh, was that what you had before, or is that what they were doing before?
That's what we were doing as part of our volunteer project. Yes.
Okay. I was thinking that these two
No,
up here were like
those are bundles, meaning like packs of 5 and 10.
Oh, okay. So I would try that lead magnet though. Like, hey, here's how to make your own mask. And then because people are gonna get frustrated, it's they're like, this is a lot of work or whatever. But it opens the door also for the potential for you to sell just without having to do the sewing. Like maybe they want that that Grinch stuff and they want to do it themselves, but they don't want to have to source how to get the fabric cut to the right size and getting the heat the heat transfer for it and all that, which can make a huge difference because I'm sure that now your costs will be a lot less because there's no labor at that point.
For sure.
So it's a potential opportunity for you to make another sale that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise if they are to do it yourself. But I love this. Don't love the fact that I'm paying $15 when I could pay $8.50 or $10 or something and do it myself, and I'll make it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Which especially if you have a family, like, oh, I got a family of 6 and now we all want the Carolina Rockies mask. And now I get, if I could sew it myself, now I'm saving, $5 a mask times 6.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So just to test the water, I would put that kind of lead magnet together and see what you get out of it. But yeah, so was there any other questions that you had? Anything I could help with or do?
I think you've hit on like a lot of the Instagram and Facebook, which are our 2 main platforms, and we're just starting off on the email and a lot. I mean, everything you've touched on are things that I can definitely work on. So they're doable tasks and nothing that seems like, oh, wow, are we going to get there? And I think part of it is just, the other part is when we were starting, was leading up to November, the big day in November. So a lot of social media outlets were just packed with other content, and it was just almost impossible to get, try and increase or grow on those platforms. But no, I think we're good.
One other thing you can
Yeah.
do is look at go to if you go to your Facebook.
Hmm.
Um, have you ever looked at your analytics on for your Facebook?
Uh-huh.
For your
Yeah.
Facebook? Okay, so like looking at like what time of day your people are on, right? And figuring out like when you can do, when you should do your posts based around that. Also looking at when you could do maybe some Facebook lives here,
Hmm.
if you come up with a concept to maybe show off a new mask or show off
Yeah.
maybe show off the process of sewing it or something,
Hmm.
just something there to get in the feed, right? And
Yeah.
targeting it based on what day and what time they're on. I mean,
They're
weekends on Facebook is like dead. It's like crazy how dead. Like Saturdays is like it's almost depressing to go through the feed because it's like I'm basically getting nothing but Thursdays and Fridays,
interesting. Okay.
stuff in my feed, and then Sundays are a little bit better, but not by much.
Okay.
But yeah, Saturdays always seem to be I mean, at least in my experience, is usually the dead. But just look at
Okay. Okay.
look at the analytics on the Facebook page, and then you can go from there and see like
Yeah.
when people are online. To because that helps, right? Like if you're hitting that post when they're actually scrolling through their feed, the odds
Hmm.
are like so much higher that
For
it's going to
them
show up
to.
like, oh, it just got posted like 1 minute ago, 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago,
Cool. Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So hitting it then based on that is really helpful. So yeah, I'm
Awesome.
excited to see what you get, what you get done here.
Awesome. Thank you. And, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate it. As a new business owner, it's been anybody and everybody that I can talk to and kind of glean off their knowledge and their experience has been fantastic. I have a special offer for your audience that are
Oh, that'd be
watching
awesome.
this now or watching it later and not live. But if you went to our website, masksforlovellc.com, Joe 5 off, that's $5 off any mask.
Oh, that's awesome. Ding ding ding. I
So,
I don't have my bells doesn't
Joe
work, but
5 off.
so Joe, the number five,
The number
OFF.
5 and OFF. I don't know if you want me to put it in the chat or if you have another way of sharing it somewhere.
I
I don't
can
want to
I
put it.
can I can put it in the chat.
Okay, yeah, and that's for your audience only.
Well, thank you. I greatly
Of
appreciate that.
course, thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate that. And one thing that I didn't really get to mention this, but we also have, the clear communicator style masks on our website. And so, if you have members of your family that are hard of hearing that you think would, so it's called the See Me Smile mask right there. So it has like a clear window that goes over your lips, and it was something that just came in mind while I was starting the business. Is there was this other need of people just not you can't see people's smiles, and
Yeah.
people that are hard of hearing or in situations where you're teachers, for example, and teaching little kids. um, it's important for kids. I actually have a pediatrician's office that ordered them because they had families coming in. It wasn't the kids would start crying the minute they saw the doctors all masked up all the time, but also the mothers or the parents that were hearing impaired. They would actually be in tears. I had a doctor tell me that she just broke down in tears because it's been so hard for them. Um, Everywhere they go, everybody's just masked up, and to be able to see that when they took their child to the doctor was a big deal. So,
Oh.
we have those available too for adults as well as kids, for that matter, that may be in speech therapy, um, or have loved ones that are hearing impaired, and they still want to be able to talk to them safely.
Yeah, I would update this picture too with a
Yeah,
picture.
yeah.
You're wearing it in right
I,
here.
I I do have it there. I just realized that as you were going through that, I was like, you know what? I haven't updated that. That was a
Yeah,
picture I took
I think
later.
that
So
would definitely help.
yeah.
And getting just showing off as much as you
Yeah,
possibly can in the final products.
for sure.
Um, so yeah, that's very very cool, and very very
Um,
happy, and you should look at doing some more podcast interviews. I think you would do well with them.
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I was very nervous, and I apologize for the background, but I don't have a space.
It's okay. It's
I'm
okay. It's
holed up in my daughter's or the spare bedroom come homeschool area.
it's an adjustment for everybody.
Yes, yes.
It's don't like I said, don't worry. My space only really happened because of COVID, so I'm grateful in some regards for that. But
Awesome.
anyway, Ritu, right?
Yes.
Ritu.
Me
Awesome,
too.
awesome. Ritu, thank you so much for being on here. Thank you so much for letting me help you with your business and your social media. And it's been an absolute pleasure. And I look forward to having you on in the future and seeing where you take this next.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate your time and first time for everything. So I'm glad the first podcast live was with you, made everything very easy and simple.
Oh,
And thank you
thank
for
you.
all your tips.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. If you need any more help, please don't hesitate to reach out. I don't know if we're connected on Facebook yet, but we should make that happen if we're
We
not.
should make that happen for sure. And don't forget to
Oh,
follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
yes, at Masks for Love WS,
Yes.
and on Facebook is
Masks for
Masks
love.
for Love.
Yep.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you again, Ritu, and thank you all for watching and or listening to the Super Joe Pardo show. It's been way too long. I'm glad I finally was able to get another episode out here, and I plan to do more. It's been part of rearranging everything and getting things set up here for me to be able to turn the lights on and go. So it's a bit of a process, and I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're all staying safe and your families are doing well as the holidays. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus. I'm sure there's other holidays there that I am not aware of. I hope that they go well. I hope you all can stay safe through them, and hopefully we will be through this pandemic in the next 3 to 6 months as we roll through. So everybody, take care. I'll see you all in the next episode. And don't forget to check out the Biz Coach Reacts over at youtube.com/SuperJoePardo. And I will see you all in the next episode. Take care.